What if I told you that the smartest person in the room is usually the last one to speak? In a world that assumes the loudest voice is the smartest one, psychology reveals something very different. Intelligent people don't stay silent because they're shy or weak. They stay quiet because they understand that every word has a cost, and that listening gives them information that constant talkers never get. When you go silent, you start noticing what others miss: facial expressions, tone of voice, hesitation, and even the emotions people try to hide. Silence isn't the absence of speech, it's the full presence of the mind. In this episode, we'll uncover 7 real psychological reasons why quiet minds are different, backed by real science and true stories that will completely change how you see the silent people around you. If you're someone who thinks a lot and speaks little, this video is for you. Stay until the end because the final reason alone is worth the whole watch. Reason 1. Because they listen more than they speak. When everyone is talking, no one is gathering information. But when one person stays silent, they hear what others say and what they don't say. Imagine walking into a meeting where everyone rushes to share their opinion. One person stays quiet, doesn't interrupt, doesn't try to prove anything. When the discussion ends, they say just 2 sentences, and those 2 sentences completely shift the direction of the meeting. What happened? They were listening. In psychology, this is known as active listening. When your mind isn't busy preparing what to say next, it becomes far more capable of catching subtle details, tone of voice, hesitation, contradictions, suppressed emotions. In criminal investigations, the best interrogators aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who stay silent and let the other person fill the space, because silence pushes people to reveal themselves. Silence doesn't mean you're outside the conversation. It means you're seeing it from a much wider angle. Transition. But gathering information isn't the only reason intelligent people prefer silence. Reason 2. Because they think before they speak. The word that takes 1 second to say can take years to undo. This connects to what psychologists call emotional self-regulation. That brief pause before responding gives the emotional part of the brain time to settle, allowing the rational part to take over the decision. A true story, there's a well-documented account about President Abraham Lincoln. Whenever he grew furious with a general or an aide, he would sit down and write a full angry letter, pouring out every ounce of his frustration with complete honesty. Then he'd place it in his desk drawer and never send it. He called them his hot letters. Once the internal storm settled, he would write a second calmer, more measured reply, and that was the only one that ever reached its recipient. Dozens of these unsent letters were later found among his papers. That small gap between feeling insulted and writing the reply is exactly the difference between a man who led a nation through its darkest crisis and a man whose words could have ignited conflicts that never needed to happen. Silence here isn't hesitation. It's the space between reaction and wisdom. Transition. But there's a deeper reason, one that has to do with how intelligent people see themselves in front of others. Reason 3. Silence as protection from misunderstanding. Intelligent people know that words are limited and that any complex idea can be misunderstood if it's spoken too quickly or without enough context. This connects to what's known as social evaluation awareness. But in its positive form, it isn't fear of people, it's a precise awareness that unrefined words can easily be misread. So silence is chosen until the idea is fully clear before it's spoken. Throughout history, many scientists and philosophers chose writing over spontaneous speech because writing gave them time to shape an idea with precision, far from the instant misunderstanding that so often happens in unprepared, live conversation. Transition. And if silence protects an idea from distortion, it also protects the person from a far more dangerous psychological trap. Reason 4. Avoiding the trap of groupthink. In social psychology, there's a phenomenon called groupthink, where individuals tend to agree with the group's opinion just to avoid conflict, even when they privately believe otherwise. Intelligent people recognize this trap and choose silence instead of being swept along by an opinion they don't actually believe in. Their silence isn't agreement. It's holding on to their own view until the right moment to express it clearly and with conviction. Think of those moments in meetings or group discussions when everyone quickly agrees on an idea while one person stays silent, only for it to become clear later that they were the only one who saw the full picture. Transition. And because the value of a word is tied to its scarcity, a fifth reason emerges, explaining why people listen more closely to those who speak less. Reason 5. Scarcity creates value. There's a simple psychological principle. The more you talk, the less each word is worth. This connects to the scarcity principle in social psychology. Rare things are valued more than abundant ones. A person who talks constantly, even if what they say is true, gradually loses their impact because people grow used to their voice. But someone who stays silent most of the time, when they finally speak, everyone listens with full attention. Their few words carry more weight than hours of someone else's talking. Transition. But behind all of this lies one deeper psychological root, one that touches the very core of a person's character. Reason 6. Silence is the language of true self-confidence. People who possess real self-confidence don't need to prove their intelligence through constant talking. They don't feel the need to fill every silent moment because their worth doesn't depend on other people's opinions of them. By contrast, the persistent need to talk non-stop, to interrupt others, or to insert an opinion into every discussion is often rooted in an inner need for validation or self-verification. A story from the Quran. This meaning appears in its deepest form in the story of the prophet Yusuf, Joseph, peace be upon him. He was falsely accused and imprisoned for years despite his complete innocence. And yet, he did not emerge from that ordeal an angry, bitter man seeking to prove his innocence to the world. Throughout his years in prison, he kept his inner calm. And when fellow prisoners asked him to interpret their dreams, he answered them with honesty and wisdom, carrying no resentment toward those who had wronged him. Later, when he rose to a position of authority in Egypt and encountered the very brothers who had thrown him into a well and sold him into a foreign land where he knew no one, he had every ability to take revenge. They were now completely under his power. Yet he simply said to them, "No blame will there be upon you today," meaning, I hold nothing against you. Years of injustice, imprisonment, and exile did not produce a man seeking revenge to prove his strength to those who wronged him. They produced a man whose inner certainty ran so deep that forgiveness came easier to him than revenge. His long silence through hardship wasn't surrender. It was the space in which he built an inner steadiness that all those years could never shake. Silence, in its deepest meaning, is not the absence of speech. It's a full presence with oneself, needing no one's approval. Transition. And finally, the reason I promised you at the very beginning, the one that ties everything together. Reason 7. Silence as a tool for deep information processing. The human brain cannot think deeply and speak quickly at the same time with equal efficiency. In cognitive psychology, this is known as cognitive load. The mind has a limited capacity to process information at any given moment. Intelligent people channel that energy into internal analysis rather than spending it on immediate speech that may not even be accurate. Picture a professional chess player in the middle of a match. He barely speaks because he's calculating dozens of possibilities in his mind. Every second of silence is, in reality, a storm of thought. Silence here isn't the absence of action. It is the action itself, just happening on the inside, where no one's eyes can reach. Conclusion. So, the next time you see someone silent in a meeting, a discussion, or even in your own personal life, remember that silence isn't always the absence of a thought. It may be the deepest form of mental presence there is. Maybe you don't need to talk more to prove your intelligence. Maybe you just need to be silent more, to think more deeply, and to speak only when your words are truly worth hearing. If this video touched something in you, don't let it pass by. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell so new episodes on the psychology of the mind and human behavior reach you first. And tell me in the comments, which of these 7 reasons do you see most in yourself? See you in the next episode. And until then, remember, sometimes the strongest thing you can say is nothing at all.